Welcome back, Ultimate fans, to another episode of the AUDL Take. I've got a very exciting show for you guys today, but you know the drill. If you enjoy what's going on, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. All that really helps me keep giving you more content and hopefully grow the show and grow with this community as we move forward. Today's episode is primarily focusing on one subject you don't really hear a lot about in the ultimate world. In the last 5, 6 or so years, we've started to see this become more of a key part of a team's development, whether that's college, club, and now with the pros, and that is coaching. Playing at Georgia State, we didn't have a dedicated coach. It's usually player coach across the board, very standard for most college and club players. There's rare to see someone who's just a coach and they're not getting on the field. In the AUDL, we've actually seen that become a thing, but you do see a lot of player coaches in the AUDL as well. But I really wanted to focus this episode on, I think, the top 3 best coaches the AUDL has seen, not only because of what they've done for their team, but what they've done for the league and the communities at large. First coach I want to talk about today is Tim DeBile, leader of the Madison Radicals, been there since 2013. He's great at putting on events, getting the marketing out there, and honestly bringing together a great championship weekend. We've had 2 there in Madison. Someone who can get you involved and you really want to please him in the sense of you want to put on a good show just as much as he does. And he's going to put you in the right positions so that you can bring the most value to the organization. Behind the scenes, he's doing things for the league that I don't think any other coach has really done. Now we step into his realm of coaching. He has been a dominant force, bringing that team to win that division over and over and over again. He's coached all of these players, and these players I think have a lot of respect for him. And in the world now of professional ultimate, when you have just a dedicated coach, the relationship you have with those players goes a long way. If they don't respect you or believe you really know what you're talking about, you're going to have that division possibly ruin your team. But he has always kept people in good spirits and really driven to win championships. Like I said, he's someone who's really involved a lot with the league itself, and he can take that experience and that knowledge and translate it well to the field. I think last year there just wasn't that drive to win the championship as years before, but now that they didn't even make the playoffs, I expect to see Tim DeBile and Madison in the playoffs making a serious run for a championship. The next coach on our list is none other than Brian Jones, coach of the New York Empire. They had an incredible run last year, undefeated season, and won their first championship. He's been involved as a coach, and then now that was this year with New York, but he's also done commentating, and he's really given himself to the league in a lot more ways than just being a coach. I think the way he sees the field and the way he coaches, he's a tactician. All those numbers flying by his head, and he knows exactly what's going on. He's seeing stuff that we're not seeing even as commentators or players, and you really saw that come to life last year in New York. He's been involved in coaching, just being a coach for such a long time, probably worked out a lot of strategies where I think this is going to be a good idea. Turns out doesn't work. Probably seen a lot of what's failed, and he has seen a lot of things work. Now that knowing that can't do this, can do that, he's slowly building that up to become, I think, one of the most threatening coaches in the AUDL. And even when you listen to him commentate, go back and watch for yourself. He's so good at looking at the game and explaining it to a viewer, even if they don't know Frisbee, he can really lay it out for you in such a simplistic manner. That's where I believe any player that goes to play from Brian Jones is going to learn so much and be able to take that game and take that knowledge and move on to any other team and become a better player. He really has the potential to be kind of the Madden of the AUDL. On to our last coach, and this one is dear to my heart. I might be biased. Someone that I have been interacting with for many years now, and that is Miranda Knowles. I think a lot of these players in this community have such high respect for her, and she deserves it. She's been a top player herself, and now coming into coaching, it's the community aspect that Miranda brings to the AUDL that's unmatched with other coaches. She's involved in everything from the women's league to high school. She can inspire so many people to get involved. Her talent herself has spoke volumes to so many people, but she's doing things to the outreach of Ultimate as a whole. Truly someone who is an ambassador of the sport, and now coming into the AUDL, trying to revolutionize the defenses. Defense is hard on this wide field. No one's really tried to approach a dynamic defense. We've seen that with the Radicals before, and now we're seeing a little different version of that coming out of Atlanta with Miranda Knowles. Knowles. Miranda has really inspired a lot of the players here. She's inspiring so many people outside the AUDL. That's why I included her on this top 3 list, because not only is she an incredible coach and she's really building a program around her style of offense and defense, a huge ambassador for the sport. If she stays around long enough, Atlanta has a very good chance of getting themselves an AUDL title. That pretty much wraps up this segment. I know there are plenty other coaches out there I could talk about, and player coaches as well, but I really wanted to focus on these 3 because of the different themes that they kind of touch on. Tim DeBile, someone who's a part of the league and bringing the league itself out into the open and getting so many people outside the Ultimate world exposed to what we're doing here. Brian Jones, the tactician, he's going to revolutionize what we see in the AUDL. And of course, Miranda, a true ambassador that everyone can look up to, someone who truly cares about Ultimate and really wants to see the sport grow in a healthy and productive way. That's the top 3 coaches I think we really should keep an eye on, just to see how they're going to develop over the years and how much impact they're going to have on the AUDL and Ultimate as a whole. Before we wrap up this show, I kind of want to talk about the tryouts that have been going on. It's truly exciting to see what kind of new talent we're going to bring in. We saw a lot over this past weekend, a lot of teams looking for that extra person to bolster their roster or to add that depth. But I really want to throw this out to my community here. I want to see what everyone out there, players, fans, what do you guys think of the tryouts? What's it like to actually try out for the AUDL? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Leave your comments down below and let me know what you're thinking. I want to thank you all again for tuning in for another episode of the AUDL Take. I'll see you next week.